Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of my drawings art series. In this episode, I'm actually going to start colouring in my character in. Back in episode 1, I realised I've not actually coloured the character in any way, but Now you'll definitely see me getting a lot of hexadecimal codes. Trust me, you don't want to see me colour picking for over 5 minutes long, so I decided to just shortcut that part and just put the hexadecimals in a notepad file and decided to just grab it from there, because trying to do it the long way around, that's going to stretch the video out much longer than it needs to be. So Oh, there was this original song I made with 2 other people called Midnight Fantasia. There's a boy version which I sing in it, and there's a girl version where someone called the Fairy Monster sings in, because there's a female version as well. And it's where, I'll be honest, the female version's way better, but the reason why is because the Fairy Monster does singing as her actual career, whereas I'm just doing it just off and on, so it's like just for fun sort of thing, so One thing I did not even mention about the Midnight Fantasia song is that I was originally going to get someone else to sing the female version, right? There's this lady called Miss Moonified who does Ewer's voice, the English version, right? I did ask her, oh, do you do singing commissions by any chance? I've got this totally safe for work song, and it'd be great if I could pay you to sing in this version. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm not trained into singing. So I thought, oh, alright then. And then I asked someone else called Elisa, and she said the same thing and said, oh, I don't know how to sing either. And then there was a third girl called Dark Knight Princess who does Shamina's voice in the English version of my series, and she said she was kind of busy. Now, I did look into her activity, and I was thinking, oh, right, oh, okay then, she's going to other events and stuff, so that actually makes sense. And then there was a fourth girl called Shiren, and she does Kyoka's voice in the English version of my series, and it's she also said, oh, I do like singing, but it's pretty stressful. So I just thought, I've asked 4 different ladies and they all said no. And no, this isn't even anything dirty, so don't worry. It's just to take part in a safer work video anyway. And it's where, so I asked a 5th lady, which was the Fairy Monster, and she actually did it. So I thought, oh, phew. Just 4 other people, if they'll take part in my video, even if it was paid, and they still said no anyway. It's like, I'm not joking, this procedure took me nearly a whole month. So I just thought, and the boy version that I made, I'll be honest, I did not sing it very well. I was thinking about retaking it, because I was shouting a bit too much in it, saying Midnight Fantasia in a very strange way, and it didn't sound very good. So I definitely need to sing it again some other time, but yeah. But basically, it's just wow, it took me nearly a month just to find the right person to do it. Well, I would have loved it if one of the other 4 girls actually did the singing job instead, but it's there was just I don't hate any of them, don't worry. It's just I'm still friends with all of them, just friends by the way. It's just that, it's just imagine trying to get someone to do a job for you. We'll say, fix your car. You ask 4 other people and they say, no, I'm too busy. Oh, no, I can't do it because of this. And then you've asked the 5th person to fix your car and say, yeah, we can do it. It's just So it's a similar thing. It's just it's wow. It took me ages just to find one person just to do the female version of the Midnight Fantasia song. So that's the big story behind that. I did mention this in the previous episode, and I talked about something called Full Metal Alchemist, right? And it's where there were 2 characters in it that looked very similar to each other, right? And they're both female characters. And one is called Winry, and one of them is called Riza. right? And I kept getting them mixed up at first because they both got blonde hair, they both have similar hairstyles. And it's where one of them's like a lieutenant and one of them's a mechanic, right? And it's where, when I watched like the opening cutscene, it's where it showed both of them, but not at the same time. And the confusing thing is that I thought they were both the same character at one point, and I think, wait, they're both the same, they're both different characters? I didn't even know that. I thought Winry and Riza were both the same characters. Like, nope, they're both completely different entities. It's like, oh, okay then, that was a little bit hard to understand. But the thing is though, is that the two brothers, Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric, you could tell both of them apart, especially since they're both different heights. And also, another thing that's different about them is that Alphonse is in a suit of armor. Well, he's basically a suit of armor that's empty on the inside. And he's basically a suit of armor for, like, most of the show. So that's why. Whereas Edward Elric actually has his human form for the entire show. So that actually makes sense. But the thing with the other two characters is that the faces and the hairstyles look so similar. And it's just like, oh wow, okay, I didn't realize they were both different characters. But there you go. In fact, it's the same thing between two different companies. For instance, there's a Bayonetta character called Luca Redgrave, and there's a guy in Final Fantasy 15 called Ardyn Izunia. And both these characters actually look identical, practically, and they both even got similar personalities. Someone else actually pointed that out, and I thought, you know what, I just realized that those two guys look very similar. Both the faces are similar, both the hairstyles are similar, and their outfits are very similar. So it's like, you know, they're not really much different, are they? And another example that someone else pointed out is Frog from Chrono Trigger looks very, very similar to Cyrus from Another Eden. And it's like, what? They're like practically the same. And they may as well just be the same character at that point. It's just like, you know, I mean, you're gonna come across lookalikes wherever you go anyway. It's like that in reality. I've come across about 4 or 5 people who actually look a little bit the same. So, you know, and I can tell that they're actually different because of their heights. So, you know. You know, it's just like, but when it comes to fictional media, you're no doubt going to come across two characters that look at least a little bit the same. Because, I mean, there's only like limited hairstyles, limited hair colors, limited outfits, that sort of thing. So there's always going to be a limitation of what outfits you can give characters and what features you'll give them and what personalities you can give them. So, you know, that. Oh, yes, there's a spin-off series I've been getting into, right? And it's called Luigi's Mansion. I really like those games because it's nowhere near as repetitive as the Mario games, and it's where in Luigi's Mansion games, I think a lot of people will know this already, but it doesn't make as much money as the Mario series, but it's where Luigi's Mansion has 3 games in the series. So there's Luigi's Mansion 1, Luigi's Mansion 2, also known as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and there's Luigi's Mansion 3. And it's where I really like those games. And it's where if I had to pick which one I like the most, I'd probably say the second one, because the enemies in the second game are the most funniest ones, and they like have like sunglasses on, and when you use your Hoover to suck it in, they're like going, "Ah, my sunglasses are gone!" sort of expression. And when you flash your torchlight at them, it doesn't do anything because of the sunglasses, and they just mess about loads, do "Ah!" and stuff like that. I really hate getting sucked in by the Hoover. Also known as the Poltergust 3000, and then it gets upgraded to Poltergust 5000. Now, what most people don't actually know about the Luigi's Mansion series is that, believe it or not, there was supposed to be a bad ending in the first Luigi's Mansion game. And It's where there was supposed to be a bad ending where Mario gets taken away to another dimension and it shows Luigi in thunder and lightning and he looks really creepy looking. I was like, oh no. What has Nintendo done there? I'm not surprised why they removed it from the final release. It was like, yeah, that definitely would have creeped a lot of people out, especially judging that Mario and Luigi series tends to be like for 3-year-olds and up. Oh, by the way, I did mention Luigi's Mansion in a whole different video, saying how the first Luigi's Mansion game is for 3-year-olds and up. And I've got a video clip of it here. And it's where, despite that, they actually put one swear word in it. I was thinking, what? Okay. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. That must have been done by accident. I don't know what happened there. So I was like, naughty Nintendo. Why are you saying plus 3-year-olds on a game which has swearing in it? If I ever let's play a Luigi's Mansion game, believe it or not, it will be the third one. Because I have a very reliable way to record, because I have a sibling who actually has a very good capture card. So I can actually borrow it from them and actually record Luigi's Mansion 3. But it's only for Nintendo Switch games, and I think I can use that same capture card for GameCube games as well, because the Wii runs GameCube games, meaning that I can actually run GameCube games and actually do Let's Plays that way. But if I do record Luigi's Mansion 3, I'm definitely going to have to make it a 2-player one, because Luigi is very helpful when he's the second player, rather than you switch between Luigi and Luigi over and over again. And also, there's a big downside to doing it on 1 player, and it's that it makes exploration a lot slower, and sometimes the money just disappears too quickly, and you actually need money in Luigi's Mansion 3. So yeah, so there's that. One last thing I will say about Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 is that I am very surprised there was no swearing at all in those ones, so at least Nintendo took that into account. They probably thought, oh no, we accidentally left in a swear word by accident back in Luigi's Mansion 1. Let's make sure that we don't actually put any swearing in the second and third games. One of the other things I noticed is that Luigi's Mansion 1 was made in 2001. Whereas Luigi's Mansion 2 was released in 2012 or 2013, it was one of those 2 years. And it's where the third game was released, I think it was 2017, 2018 odd. I'll put some text on screen just to show when it was actually released, but yeah. So the thing is though, that there was such a huge gap between the first and second games, and people were requesting for a second game for so long. And there's one big problem with the first game, it's really short. You can actually beat it in about 5 or 6 hours. And that's not including hard mode, mind you, so yeah. I think I'll leave it here. I know you're probably thinking, what, this video's not that long? It's like, yeah. But the part 1 of this was like 18 minutes long, so I'm going to make this one be a little bit shorter this time around. So yeah, I think I'll leave it here, so thanks for watching. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to actually show your support, you may tick like, share, or subscribe to my channel. You can even do all 3 of them if you want to. So yeah, and with that, I'll end off the video. So thanks you for watching.